All right, welcome everybody. If at any point you can't hear me clearly or there is any issue, please do let me know. I want to just ensure that we are all following this info session. My name is Richard Xiao. I am a tech entrepreneur. I'm a digital innovator and also an AI enthusiast. In 2017, I was part of the founders that started a digital platform called Host Gold Company Limited, which is a company that offers digital services. Back then, there was no artificial intelligence, so we literally had to do a lot of manual coding with those that we work with to achieving whatever goal that he needed. But now spatial intelligence, and not only is it making our output better, it is making it easier as well. And that is why we are in a phase where a lot of people are looking to learn more about artificial intelligence and applying it at their workplace, in their businesses, so that they ensure that they succeed. One of the reasons why I asked that those that were present for the info session yesterday should be present again today is that even though it's just an info session to learn about the AI Mastery Academy, we're doing some learning as well. And they got the opportunity to learn about how to use ChatGPT to produce interactive presentations. So we are moving away from the PowerPoint presentations. Now we are having interactive presentations. Along the way, we would be having presentations where you will be able to participate with your phone from wherever you are. And yesterday, they were able to participate, but they used me as a medium because they used ChatGPT to build that presentation. Today, we're using Gemini to build this presentation, this info session, which for those that were present yesterday, they'll begin to see how different Gemini did it this time and how um, they produced a lot of different parts of it. Probably it has to do with the prompt engineering that was used, which we'll learn more about in today's class if you join it. If you are a guest student, you will definitely be a part of it. But yes, we are going to see the difference, even as we are going through this info session, how different it is from yesterday when you used ChatGPT to do the info session. So yes, today we're just going to this info session is about finding out what is the AI Mastery Academy, what is it offering, what would be the good mode or things that would guide your studentship with the AI Mastery Academy, and why you should choose the AI Mastery Academy. So I've already introduced myself. Let us go ahead with what we have for today. So this, as I said, was developed very last minute with Gemini, very similar to what we had yesterday, but the content is we have just a few things added to the content. So of course, we have already spoken about the fact that AI is important now, and a lot of people are, no matter who you are, a student, entrepreneur, freelancer, business owner, employee, yeah, you are using AI to stand out in the work that you do. And so we are going to find out more about the AI Mastery Academy. So yesterday, just like today, we are finding out how ready are you when it comes to, using AI in your work? How ready are you? So if you had to complete an important business task using something like ChatGPT today, how confident would you be? And yesterday we had very interesting feedback on how confident people would be. Um, so let's just start today. Anybody can throw a number. It could be one, it could be 10, it could be five, any number at all within the range of 1 to 10. How confident would you be in using AI in meeting your task?
Hmm.
Two. Okay. That's cool.
Oh, she read my mind there. That was nice.
Oh, okay. So you also say two?
Yes.
I have a feeling you
Yes.
guys are giving yourself low marks only because of what you're finding out that maybe ChatGPT can be used to do so many things. But prior to that, you probably would give yourself higher bars. I'm very sure of that. But yeah, thank you for giving that feedback. So hopefully it would move from 2 to 20 or 2000. Okay. So we move. The problem with AI learning today is that new models are released constantly. It's not static. It's not just one module that we are learning over and over again. Even as we are holding classes, tomorrow there'll be new modules, things will happen. Features will also disappear, things get updated, prices and companies shut down, prices change, and things like that. But the problem is that with some um, teaching modules that we have around today, it's really surprising that they teach tools instead of teaching AI. So they are all their focus is on tools and how tools work. But with the AI Mastery Academy, you are aware of the fact that new modules are constantly being released. Features that you are learning today will be outdated tomorrow. And companies shut down. Maybe the class that maybe during your class, we're just using one company. Let's say you're using Kling AI for your teaching and it shuts down. That means that whatever they learned is just useless. And when the new module is released, the class didn't teach them the new modules, so it's useless. So the AI Academy is aware of the fact that things change, things develop. So we don't only teach you tools, but we also teach you how to understand artificial intelligence in a way that is applicable even when features change, even when things develop, and even when a company or a platform that we are using gets shut down. Okay. So we try to be progressive in the way that we are teaching. And of course, one of the things that you begin to learn within all of this AI Mastery Academy is that there is no single way of doing things. So that is why some classes are flawed. You'd go to a class and it is teaching you before you get here, you'd have to do this, you'd have to go to this platform, you have to use 11 labs, you have to use Tomora, you have to use CapCut before you get this to this destination. But no, when you actually think with AI, you begin to realize that depending on what you're looking for, or even what resource is available to you, you can you can use different tools. So for example, this morning I was having a conversation with a client who wanted a video, an AI video created for them. And the very first AI video that I created for this client brought a lot of referrals to me. But the problem is when I was quoting for a minute video, I'm quoting about 600 CDs, 500 CDs. They're like, hey, it's expensive. Why? And in my head, I'm like, it is the tools that I used to produce this is why it is of such great quality. That because I am thinking with AI and I consider myself to an extent an AI professional, I'm able to say, look, of all these clients that want this video to market their ads, I can do a different video for them. It may look a bit different from yours because it may not be the same tools that I'll be using or the workflow as you're seeing on this. The workflow. So you see workflow A, workflow B, workflow C. I'm going to use a different workflow to arrive at a similar output. So that would mean that I can offer it cheaper, but I'm using different tools. So when you come to the AI Mastery Academy, this is how you can begin to think. You can charge even less. I can even charge for 350 for the same output or similar output because I know I can use a variety of tools to arrive at similar destination. Do you understand? So what other classes are learning is that they're just teaching them how to do things without teaching them how to think with AI and how to use multiple workflows. So there's a universal AI problem solving framework. Of course, you have to have a goal. What are you producing? What is the problem you are targeting? Then the prompt strategy, which is also very important that we're going to talk about today if you join the very first class, and tool selection and the work assembly, then output, then the evaluation of it, then of course refinement of the output that you've given. So we are believing that the AI Mastery Academy, after you've gone through the modules, you have to understand and you have to be able to be a professional that understands the underlying problems clearly, where you are able to choose appropriate AI tools. If at the end of the AI Mastery Academy, you are still using one tool like ChatGPT, you are not considered AI proficient, or they're using just the Claude or Gemini you're not really adding more to what you already know. You cannot really consider yourself AI proficient, but you should be able to build effective and repeatable workflows. Critically evaluate AI outputs. You see an AI product, you're able to evaluate it. Even think around what did they probably use to produce this by looking at it. You should be able to iterate and improve results. You work ethically and responsibly with AI. That's also one thing that I find is very missing in a lot of these classes. They don't talk about AI ethics. They're giving people power, which is very important in our world today. In AI is power. Knowledge in AI is power, because people can use AI for deep fakes. People are using people's images wrongly. People are doing all sorts of things that are ethically incorrect when it comes to AI. But their classes don't even weigh these issues. So far, those who were in the class previously, and you realize that this is a similar presentation we had for the info session, but it is looking different. Um, Someone who was in the previous class so far, can you point out one thing that is very different from the ChatGPT one that we produced and this one by Claude? Sorry, this is by Gemini. Just one difference, if anything comes to mind. I think the only person that was here yesterday is probably Felicity. I'm sure Felicity can say, "Hey, Rad, depend on know how." Felicity, can you throw any word our way? Just one word, you fine. That makes something looks different here.
I think with the ChatGPT, we were able to make it interactive so people could um
But
take
that's
polls while
it.
you were still doing yes
Exactly.
representation.
Exactly. What ChatGPT produced for us is that there were a lot of interactive points where we are able to put in phrases and sentences, and it would give us feedback. And that is a presentation. We're able to put in phrases. So people, whilst you are doing a presentation, people would say words and you put it in there and it will give you feedback right there and then. So that's the biggest difference that we have here. So if you're doing a customer research report, again, for example, let's even use this example that we are giving in class right now. And you're not in class, but it's an info session, like that if you're using presentation, for example, building a presentation, if you're one that is looking for a more interactive one, probably you would look at ChatGPT to give you that, you know. And Gemini might be able to do it, but it goes back to prompt engineering. And that is one of the things I will be talking about ahead. And the question is, why am I looking for a master class? Why am I looking to do AI Master Academy? People would say that, oh, you can learn everything off of YouTube, right? Why are we worrying ourselves with this Mastery Academy thing? Is because when it comes to YouTube, there's a possibility of information overload. The person speaking does not have your time. He's just creating content out there. And sometimes another problem is that their tutorials could even be outdated. But the biggest problem in all of this is context. I was watching a YouTube video. I mentioned that yesterday, and I was going through it, and I'm like, why is this person talking about these tools like GitHub and the rest, whilst they could talk about some things simpler. But some of the things that came to mind as a better alternative, I realized that I know them because I'm in Ghana, and this person speaking is American. She has no idea about these tools that I'm talking about. That would have made these things simpler. So sometimes context is a problem. Of course, no direct feedback as you're in a live class. Even those that are on the monthly AI plan, you might have some sessions where you're not in a live class for the very first cohort. Even those ones, there is a part where it's called a forum where you can ask questions as the class is going on, and then you get feedback from other classmates and tutors and all of that. So there is community. You get feedback from tutors, get feedback from classmates. There's that experience for you, which you won't have off of YouTube. So what AI Mastery Academy offers is that we have a structured curriculum. I've compared the AI Mastery Academy with other AI classes. Some of them do not even apply the very things that they are talking about, such as automation, AI, nothing. They would literally tell you, send me the money to my Momo. I'll write it in my spreadsheets. I'll write it in my notebook. And I'm like, so how are you teaching AI and not really practicing AI? This person is literally doing everything manually, you know, and that becomes problematic. It makes me look at you side eye a bit. So you cannot be running an AI class and not apply what you're doing. A lot of the things that we are running, talking about the promotional flyers, talking about your platforms, talking about the automation that you're seeing, is all structured using AI. You have community support, and we ensure that I've already spoken about that. Even those that will not be having live sessions all the time, you have community support from your forums, and tutors will be responding to you on your student portal. Other students can also do that and all of that. You have hands-on exercises. There'll be practical projects almost after every class. There'll be live instruction, continuous feedback, and accountability. There'll be real-world business applications as well. So we'll be talking about prompt engineering, our very first class, in which is coming up. But beyond that, we will be talking more about how to create content and design presentations. Even though this is not the beginning of the class, yeah, we've already learned how different these presentations are. We compared ChatGPT presentations to Gemini presentations, which we are looking at right now. I'm not using PowerPoint. I'm not using websites. It is just a presentation that they have created that I am using. And I know that for a lot of us, we did not even realize this was possible. You're going to build websites. You're going to see how to generate videos. You're going to see how to automate business processes. It's not everything that you have to do manually, right? You're going to see how to conduct research and analyze data. We're going to see how to build customized AI workflows, which we have even spoken about before. How different these workflows are if you think with AI, which is what the AI Mastery Academy is teaching you, not to just learn tools, but also think with AI. Use AI ethically and responsibly, which is my personal favorite, one of the things that's very important to us. Lead AI adoption within organizations. A comprehensive learning path. So this is just we're introducing you to the modules that we have available. We're going to go through AI foundations, content creation and communication, media and branding, marketing and growth, business automation, decision making, business transformation, AI consulting, and leading AI adoption. I think these things you already know. That's why I'm rushing through them. I've shared it several times on the page. And there's structured learning progression. Modules are intentionally arranged in a way. So that's why some people might look at the AI Mastery Academy modules and they're like, oh, media, I'm only interested in the video creation. I wish we could jump to the video creation, but it is structured in the way that there are certain basic things that we believe that if you consider yourself to know AI, you should know about. And it's important for us to get that foundational knowledge before we advance into complicated systems, because you would find out that it would be very detrimental to you if you don't know the basics. I even spoke about ethics when it comes to AI, giving you power and not knowing the background with which the power lies is problematic. And also another thing that gives structure is that, of course, you can just decide that, oh, I'm only interested in AI foundations. After that, you get your certificate and you're off to go. But for those that would want to pursue and continue, every module that you reach, and I'm telling you this for a fact before you start, at every point in your journey, there'll be times where you feel like, hey, I've learned a lot, though. I don't need any more. But I dare you to say that continue. The next class, too, you'd feel like, hey, I'm learning a lot. So whenever that temptation comes, be like, oh, there is more to learn. because you'd always feel like I've learned enough. And by saying this, if you think about it, we did some price comparisons. Let me just skip this. Okay. We did some price comparisons with other AI Academy um, or AI classes yesterday. Some of them for this very module, they are charging $200, 2,000 CDs, and so on. Some of them too, they just pick up a tool, how to do this, and then they'll teach. It's never really holistic. And I mentioned that maybe it is at the rates at which we are because of my nonprofit background. Um, but also, it is it when you calculate it, you realize that whatever rate you are paying is not all there is. So, for example, if your aim is to reach module 3, which probably talks about content creation, you can accumulate whatever plan that you're on. That is what that plan costs. That is what that module costs. You get what I mean? So it is not just that flat fee, but it is that it is recurring, which will be explaining anytime soon. So these are the tutors we have signed on right now, who will be teaching you various things. If you want to read more about them, you visit the website, their bios are there. So now let me talk about the plans. What plans should you choose and why should you choose them? I think the most cost effective plan, in my opinion, is the One Host HQ bundle. Why am I saying that? I am saying it is the most cost effective because it gives you a lot of value for money. What is happening is that when you choose that bundle, you get access to these AI, over 30 plus AI tools without having to pay for your tuition, without having to pay for the AI Mastery Academy. Because the tools in itself, that's how much it costs. So you're getting those tools for free. Okay, let's say you are buying those tools and you're getting the class for free as complimentary. Essentially, that's what's happening. And the next thing that the next plan that I'd say is that is cost effective, especially for those who want to accelerate faster in their AI learning journey, is the Platinum AI, which is 100 Cs, because you get to do 2 classes a month. So today we hold one, next week we hold the other. Then you have time to learn your lessons, you take your quizzes. If there are projects for you to practice or learn, you do all of those things. But the monthly AI is really for those that probably have busy schedules and would want to take their time. And because it's not just about the classes that we hold, AI is a way that you need to practice. It is what you are learning in class or whoever learning in class is less than half of what you need to learn and practice with. So if you're not practicing and you're not exploring, not only will your knowledge around it decline in a way, but you will not learn to improve or become proficient at what you have learned. So maybe for some people, they want to take their time. They want to take all the lessons, they want to do all the quizzes, and I'd advise that it's important for you to take your lessons before coming to class because we will not be going through the lessons. We'll be doing the practical part of the things that you have already read on and probably taken the quizzes on. So for some people, the monthly AI might be good for them because they need more time to do all of those things. But if you seek to accelerate, the Platinum AI and the One Host HD bundle is the choice I would recommend. So I've already spoken about them. Um, what do you think is your biggest obstacle when it comes to learning AI? Let's have a let me throw this back to you again. What do you think out of these options, or you can even frame your own answer to this? What do you think is the biggest obstacle for you when it comes to learning AI? Anybody?
I would say all.
I love that. All works fine. Yeah, sometimes you don't even know where to begin. Somebody said I opened one of the AI platforms that I recommended for them to sign up. They're like, hey, they don't know where to begin. There are way too many tools. And people are talking about Claude today. Somebody's talking about Clean AI today. Like, what is what? How am I going to handle this? And yeah, and I feel like this is part of the reason why we've considered all of these things in building the AI Mastery Academy to address these concerns. So the ultimate outcome is that you will begin to think with AI. I've already spoken about thinking with AI and not think with tools. A lot of people think with tools, but the AI Mastery Academy trains you to think with AI. And thinking with AI, I've already explained how different that looks when you from thinking with the tools. You are going to learn how to create with AI. You are learning how to solve problems with AI. And when we begin to learn, you begin to realize that Charlie, we are struggling for nothing. You know, there are things that is really available for professionals that they can take advantage of that no hassle. Talking about marking scripts, talking about going through, if you are working in HR, going through applications, making AI videos. I was talking about how much I charge for an AI video, and people are saying it's expensive. And when you think with AI, you are able to expand and say, oh, I can use these other tools for you, get a similar outcome, but it would be cheaper. You know, I spoke about all of these things, building solutions and lead AI adoption because people still carry some sort of myth when it comes to AI. A lot of people think when it's AI, it is low value, it's low quality, it is not really good enough. So let's not deal with this. But when you produce certain things for them, and I'm like, sometimes people just do not know what to do with these tools. That's why it's of low quality. So the very first website that I created with ChatGPT, I would say it's low quality and it's intentional. They're going to use it in class. Some people think it's awesome, but in my mind, this is pretty much low quality. But we will do a practice. We'll do some practice in class. We'll even compare other websites that have been created with AI for you to see the difference there is. You know, so you just need to prove to people, and that's some of the ways to lead adoption in your agencies. How it's going to make their lives easy because some of them all they know is the myths around AI. So preparing for class, of course, you can use your smartphones to watch live sessions on your quizzes and your lessons and things like that. Learning materials can download them with your smartphone, accessing the portal and the community and things like that. But when we are using multiple AI simultaneously, especially in a class, it's best to use a laptop. And certain platforms, it's even best to use a laptop. It's easier for you to navigate those platforms because they are management platforms. Um, we don't know. I don't know if we'll ever use OpenArt. OpenArt, for example, just like Windows HQ, these are management platforms. OpenArt, Windows HP, they have different tools on it. So it would be easier to have a laptop or a PC to be able to go through class. And it's using a laptop to makes it easier to do the hands-on projects and working with documents and research and things like that. So that would be my recommendation. Now, show yourself as an AI learner. I think not many people are interested in this idea, but it's also really a cool feature that we have for all the prospective students that are signing on to the AI Mastery Academy. Every now and then, people are looking, gradually moving into accepting AI. I remember when we were in school and AI was still being introduced, there was a lot of pushback from lecturers and, authorities within schools. Don't use AI, don't use AI, don't use AI. Now, it's announced in a lot of schools, including the University of Ghana, which is, inarguably one of the leading universities, if not the leading university in Ghana. Um, they have accepted AI, as something that students should use, and all over the world it's happening. Eventually, it would be a requirement or into the workforce to know how to use AI, and it is happening. It's not like eventually SAP. It is something that is actually happening. So you want to show it off on your social media, on your LinkedIn pages that you are learning AI and that you are associated with something in relation to that. And that is not even certification. That is when you join the AI Academy. You can automatically generate this flyer and it will be sent into your email. All you have to do is to send your picture and that will happen for you. If later on you change your mind, you didn't do it initially and you change your mind, you can log in. There's an invitation up there for you to submit, and it will be generated for you all to show to people that you are interested in AI and you're learning it. So if you're in this class and you've not done your enrollment, we advise you to get on become AI.guru pricing and choose which of the plans you want to go with now that you understand better what the plans offer. And then you log in into your student portal, also become AI.guru/student portal. And you also begin to explore the learning section, take your lessons, as I've said, before you walk into class, because you're not going to do the theories in class. Most of what we'll be doing is practical. The most theory that we'll be doing will be the very first class, which is today, the AI Foundations class. That would be the most theory that we'll be doing. But usually it would be practical. Even that, there will be a lot of practical to do. So do the theory part so that you don't have to reiterate a lot of these things. And you upload the profile picture and confirm credentials. Sometimes profile picture helps also with a directory. When you want to reach a particular student, you can put what you do on our directory so that sometimes you want to reach someone for something based off of their background, they can easily identify you and start a friendship or relationship or whatever. As you said, the AI Master Academy is big on community. That also helps. Information sessions. So there is a link within every session that you can reach out to program benefits, the live Q&A. We will upload all of these things on your portal that you can easily have access to. So I rushed through this so that I can get enough time for questions as we need to prepare for the class very soon. So that those who have not signed on can get the time to sign on, because you cannot get access to the classes without signing on. It would be on your student portal, and we've already shown you how to do it. If you need me to demonstrate it again, I can do that here. But for now, I think that will be the last thing I demonstrate. But for now, I'm just going to take questions that you have about this. All right. So okay. All right. Yeah, Emmanuel.
Yes. So under the final, the packages you showed were per month. Does it mean that every month we'll have a particular target we want to achieve for monthly for each package that we take? Or
Yes.
and how long the class is going to take?
Yes. So it's per month. So for example, the monthly AI people, they would experience the most of when it comes to monthly. And they will take every module every month, and the rest of the time they will be working on their lessons, their projects, and practicing what they have learned. But with the rest, when it comes to the platinum and the one HQ, they take 2 lessons every month, 2 modules every month. So that's why I'm saying that those higher ones, in my opinion, they are more cost effective than the monthly. So they will be taking 2 modules every month. So if those who are doing monthly, essentially, for them to finish the whole course, it will take them about 6 months for them to finish the whole course. But for those who are doing the others, it will take them half of that. Yes. After this cohort, the second cohort, it will be more self-regulatory than this one. But because this is the very first cohort, we have to physically get the tutors in class. We have to physically be present. It takes a lot of time for us to arrange those things. It's why it is relatively slower. But the second cohort would be able to hopefully in a few months' time, maybe 8 months from now, they should be able to self-regulate. But for now, yes, this is how it will be running for. Did you still have your hands up? Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, so my question is that for the live sessions, what's the duration, the time? Because I don't know, some of us, I don't know, me personally, I work through the weekends depending on when I'm off and all that. So, like tomorrow, for instance, I would be at work, but would have our first session. So I just want to know the time Or yes, the duration we might spend so that I know how to plan and then ask permission from my boss. Thank you.
And the duration would be for 2 hours. Every class would last for 2 hours. I just want to say that this class is accessible to anyone at any time, at any point. So, in case you cannot even join live classes, know that as long as you're a student, you can always access these sessions from your student portal. People have started this today does not mean that you cannot join next week. You can always join and self-pace yourself throughout the course. However, with live sessions that are currently running, it starts at 3 p.m. on Saturdays. And depending on the plan that you're on, you may have to do that 2 times every month. For some, they just do it once every month, but 3 p.m. on on Saturdays would most likely be the timing. And about when your next class is going to be, it will be communicated to you via email, and you would even see that on your student portal as well. So talking about self-paced, you need to complete your module before you'd qualify to enter into the next class, because you can only access the link when you have finished what you have to finish and you've written all your quizzes and you've passed before you can move into the next class. So be sure to take it so that you don't miss the class even when you've put it on your calendar. Take those take the modules, finish it, and write your quizzes and pass into the next module.
Oh, that's okay. The time is not a problem. I just wanted to know how long so that I would know how to inform my boss and then get the permission I need. That's all.
Yeah, so for someone who's a beginner who just wants to learn the thing like rigorously and get the thing from the foundation, which one is much more advisable? Because with the plan that you've outlined, giving someone who is going to learn 2 modules at a time, or a beginner, don't you think it's going to be cumbersome?
No.
Missing that feet along the line.
Oh, okay. So I think I now guess what your question is. So you're saying for a beginner, which plan is best? I don't think that when you take 2 classes a month, it would be cumbersome. I was even thinking that your question is asking what should be the duration for a beginner or somebody who's interested in learning the basics. For a lot of people, I think they would take it up to like the 5th module or the 4th module, which ordinarily you should be finished in 2 months. 5th module or the 4th module. But if you want to learn advanced, that is when it should take more. But for a beginner, no, I don't think it would be cumbersome to do it. Like for example, AI foundations, which we are doing today, it is not cumbersome at all. You would find out very soon. And a lot of people think AI is such a scary thing, like it's so complicated. We will try our best to make it very simple for you, because it is simple. If you ever feel it's complicated, that means that the tutor is not doing a good job. And I'm very trying to be humble to say that we are going to try our very best to make it as simple as possible. So as the classes begin, I'm not going to be as quick as I'm doing for this info session. I'm going to take my time, and we will never assume anything. There'll never be a point where I'll be like, oh, ChatGPT, I think this basic part people know. No, they're going to act as though nobody knows anything, right? And you would realize that it is not cumbersome at all. It is not cumbersome at all.
And then also, my second question is that when I log on to the one host thing, it's a bit confusing for me. I don't know if it's because it's my first time, but I really try to read the mails to see what I'm doing, but it's very confusing. So I don't know if as we go on, it would become clearer. Or is it because I'm using my phone?
Yes,
just
and
don't
thank
know.
you for adding that part. Is it because
Yes.
you're using your phone? Using your phone is definitely part of the reason why it will be confusing for you.
like management platforms like OpenArt, where they have several tools running that you have to access. Usually, just using your phone would be complicated. And just like OneHost HQ, you are seeing a plethora of tools that you need as and when. So even when you log in, you would be advised, you see a caution there that it is better to access this platform using a PC or your laptop because there are a lot of tools to run through. Um, Aside that, the only time that it would be good for you to use your phone on OneHost HQ is when you're trying to check for something. For example, you're checking your HR suite, the number of people that have, if your employees are at work, maybe you want to check something, to read something off of the platform, maybe to respond to a live chat. Maybe there's somebody on your website that is asking for inquiries, you want to respond quickly, something check and balances. But when you are building and you're actually doing things with the tools, it is advised that you do that through a PC or a computer. So yes, and also to answer your final question, you will learn OneHost HQ how to use the tools during this class as well. So you'd see how applicable it is, and it would be very easy for you as you go on in the class. And also the good thing about it is that there are tutorial videos that you can watch for every tool to guide you. There's also a manual for you to be guided as well on OneHost HQ. So whenever you're lost, be sure to check out the tutorial videos and also the manual as well.
So based on affordability, you tell us to go for the 1HQ.
Yes, I think it gives you more value for money because you are getting some tools that you would probably pay for free. And as we are practicing, you would know why I advise that. Yeah, you're going to say something.
That's okay.
Yeah,
Right
but if you think that if you choose 60 CDs, it's not bad. You'll still be using free AI tools, right? But some of these free AI tools, they have limits. And I'm not also saying that OneHost HQ you get every tool for free. We don't have control over every tool, such as ChatGPT, Gemini. No. We'll give you tools that we have control over, and we'll show you how to access them as a replacement or as complementary to these free tools that we'll be using. But if you're on 60 Cs or 100 C, you will be learning how to use these free tools anyway. And I think 60 Cs and 100 CDs plan, the only difference is that the 100 CDs no pentem. You get to do more things and at a faster rate than the 60 CDs were. Person two would also be able to have more live sessions than the 60 CDs person would because they are going further. So the 60 Cs person, why am I calling this 60 Cs person? The basic plan, okay, would get to a point where they will be viewing a lot of these classes, even though they'll get to interact with the classes for the way that it's built. The 100 Cs people will just get more live sessions than the 60 CDs before, just because of their timing, the way they're chosen to take their time to go through classes. That's all. So I think I'm going to use this time to just show you a little bit around your portal, your STEM portal, and how to find what whenever you need it. And then we wrap up so that it doesn't eat into our class time. So this is the AI mastery, the Python tab where you get to choose what you need to choose. So when you need to, this is the part where but it's optional. If you want the flyer, this is where you do it. But in case you don't do it and you go into your student portal, you enter am I making a mistake? Oh, I made a mistake with my email.
Oh.
I made a mistake with my email. So sometimes the least mistake that you make, somebody will reach out to me and be like, Richard, it's not going. And I'll look at it clearly. I'll be like, your email, you didn't spell it correctly. So sometimes you just have to take your time so that the least mistake you won't be able to enter. And of course, even though I'm going to take you through shortly how the thing looks like, you also Obroni will try to take you to the dashboard and everything that you're looking for. So this is where you will download your content. So before class, you can even download. There are a lot of content here for class. Your students' workbooks. It will show you some prompt cards, even some guides. You know, it doesn't mean that it replaces class, because class will give you the holistic approach to some of these things, but sometimes these workbooks will give you specific ways, will open your minds to different things. Some of these workbooks will have for practice, you know, so you can download them and use them. The directory is just to see other students and interact with them, just as we went. So that's why sometimes I'm saying that putting a picture there is also cool, because you can easily interact with these people and know what they're up to, or what they're, or interact with them. I say know what they're up to as if it's magic. So yes, let me just show you. Our class will be starting soon. We should be going off. Whenever we are coming for a class, this is where you come to. You come to learning, and you will always find the Google Meet link right here. So you click this, and then it will lead you to the class. So the class link will never be posted on the WhatsApp page. You'd have to log into your student portal. You click on the Google Meet and it would open the class, and then you have that interaction.